Hi there and welcome to Hyundai Power Products. My name is Adrian and today we're going to look at these petrol chainsaws and I'm going to go through some basic safety checks that you should do before operating. So two basic checks, or three actually. We need to check that the chains are properly adjusted, not slack, so that the chains don't come off. So I've got a brand new one here and a used machine here. I have got a new chain and bar on this one. So that would be check number one. Is the chain correctly adjusted? And obviously you can go through your user manual to make sure that they are. So the second check we're going to do is to make sure that the clutch is fully disengaging when you let go of the throttle. So when we rev up the machine, we need to let go of the throttle and make sure that the chain stops rotating. In other words, that the clutch is actuating properly. I'm going to set one of these machines up when we go outside so that it isn't actuating properly, so you can see what I mean. And the second thing we'll be doing is checking the operation of the chain brake to make sure that that's working correctly and stops the blade immediately. Okay, so these are basic safety checks that we should do before operating the chainsaw. And as always, when you stop the chainsaw, finish a cut in any way, shape or form, we should always put the chain brake on if the engine is running. So, basic safety tips. One of the things we need to do before I operate these and start the machines up is check that we've got the correct PPE. So the correct personal protective equipment is being worn when using a chainsaw. So as you can see on my willing model here, he's wearing protective safety glasses. We're starting from the top. He has appropriate headgear, the chainsaw helmet. It has the visor. Do you want to pull the visor down into place? There we are. You have ear protection. Do you want to put those on? There we are. So that's the head sorted out. He has appropriate upper body coverage, so that he's protected. To protect the legs, he has the appropriate chaps. And finally, he has the appropriate protective footwear. So now that we know we have the appropriate PPE, we're going to take the chainsaws outside and we're going to talk you through the safe startup procedure with the help of my assistant. So my assistant is wearing the correct PPE. He is the person who's going to be operating the machine. First thing we need to do is make sure that the brake is engaged on the chainsaw. So the test we're going to do is to start the machine. We're going to rev it until it's flat out, and then we're going to release the trigger and wait for the chain to stop. It should stop within about 1 or 2 revolutions. That will tell us that the clutch is operating correctly. Once we're happy that the clutch is disengaging and operating correctly and the blade isn't turning when you let go of the throttle, we're going to rev it flat out again and then we're going to test the brake. Obviously, once we've started the machine, we're going to turn the brake off before we rev it up. So the brake is on. I'm going to pass it to my assistant. We'll start the machine and I'll bring you back and show you how it should operate. Again. So as you can see, the machine behaved as it should. When he let go of the trigger, the chain stopped revolving, and when we actuated the brake, it stopped immediately. So with that being the case, would you be happy to operate that machine?
Yeah, that's safe to work, yeah.
Yep, safe to work. That's the pre-use checks done, and we're all happy. So now we'll move on to one that we've deliberately set up so it doesn't pass those tests. Okay. So as you could see, this chainsaw, we deliberately done it, but it's set up in such a way that it's dangerous to use. When you release the trigger, the chain didn't stop. The only time we could stop that chain was by using the chain brake. So, we could tell from the sound of the engine, and we know because we've done it ourselves, that the RPM of the engine is running too fast. These units have a centrifugal clutch, and if the engine is running over a certain speed, that clutch will engage and turn the chain, and that's exactly what's been happening here. So in this case, we're going to slow down the speed of the engine so that when we release the throttle, the centrifugal clutch disengages and the blade will stop within 1 or 2 turns, just as it did on the previous one. But of course there are other factors that could be involved when you've got a chain that's rotating, especially if the engine speed isn't too high. That could be a maintenance issue with the clutch itself. It could be a clutch spring gone. It could be dirt buildup within the unit, sawdust, oil, all that sort of thing. So that would be the point where you need to do some investigation and probably some maintenance on the clutch unit of the chainsaw. But again, that's the sort of thing we pick up on our pre-use checks. So my assistant here is going to slow down the speed of the engine. I'll give you a little shot of how he's doing that, and then we're going to test it again. So as you can see, we slowed down the RPM of the engine, and now it's operating correctly. So would you be happy to use it now that we've reset it?
Yeah, that's safe to use, yeah.
Yeah, great. Okay, so that's just a quick safety tip on slowing down that chain. Again, as I said earlier, if it persists when you've slowed the engine down or slowed the RPM down to that sort of degree and the chain is still revolving, then more investigation is needed to check out what's going on with the releasing of the clutch. So, good tips, but you would pick up these problems before we even use the chainsaw. This is why I call them pre-flight checks, shall we say. Well, here we are, a couple of simple checks we can do prior to using our chainsaw to keep us safe. I do hope you found this demonstration useful. For more information on this or any of our other products, visit www.hyundaipowerproducts.co.uk. I've been Adrian, and thank you for watching.